The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and The Tech Insider, David White.
And welcome to a beautiful and gorgeous Monday, August 27th. Today we celebrate the Duchess that wasn't. 150 years ahead of her time, 50 Shades of 1878. She started getting the kind of frivolous stories of petulant Irish girls, a flirt who arouses her lover's jealousy and naively ignores social conventions. Wow. Right on the edge out there. Maybe she only wore 7 petticoats instead of 6. Ooh. Anyway, apparently she was known as the Duchess that wasn't because she wrote under a pseudonym that she was a Duchess, but wasn't. But Margaret Wolfe Hungerford, the first, you can't even say chick flick. What's a chick book? Anyway, the first chick book in a slightly erotic story written in 1878. That launched a lot of those English tales of girls gone wrong. Probably wasn't a whole lot of girls gone wild 1800s stuff going on in England, I bet. But anyway, today I guess was her birthday, and we celebrate her as a she wasn't much to look at here from this picture, but who knows. Anyway, Isaac, of course, we come to you from Tampa Bay and actually Clearwater, Florida, and continue to watch Isaac as the would-be hurricane heads up. Last week I said there was a 5% chance of it hitting Tampa and a 95% chance that it hit somewhere between Pensacola and New Orleans. That's because 95% of these do. Everybody was getting in a lather about it. You have to prepare it because there is a 5% chance, but there's if you just look at a map and know that there's prevailing westerly winds, any hurricane that makes the corner of Cuba is probably going to go up at a pretty much a 45-degree angle almost every time. And even when the wind is light, it goes up at a 20-degree angle and hits Pensacola. Rare that it actually ever comes back into Tampa or Tampa Bay. One of the reasons I chose to move down here in the, 96, 97, whatever. And we continue to see almost sunshine and almost all the rain already gone, so all the doomsayers are wrong. We hope well for those up in the eye of the storm, or headed that way, somewhere up in the Gulf, but there's a pretty good reason to be here. Last time Tampa was actually hit by a hurricane, it was 1918, and even then the damage from the winds was fairly minimal. It is almost always the same thing, and that is Tampa has a huge bay, and a tidal surge can come in. There's lots of places that get flooded because they're in lowlands. Nothing new in that. The same places that were flooded 20, 30, 40 years ago are same places that get flooded today. You're not going to make that land magically move up. Some of the newer builds out here, they're forcing people to put their garages in breakaways on the first floor so that anybody living has to be at least 12, 13 feet higher. And that's also solved a lot of issues, but we are in one of the most densely populated areas of Florida. In fact, the most densely populated county is Pinellas, where we're at. And the problem is there's just very few exits to get out of this area, so everybody's always kind of in a huff to make sure that everybody's ready. Hopefully they don't cry wolf too many times, which is pretty much what happened in New Orleans. No one is eventually going to pay attention to it. But Isaac, a great bartender, and as far as we can tell, a tiny footnote in the history of Tampa, as most people try to, what can I say, just try to make a mountain out of a molehill for this, at least in this area. What else we have going on? Samsung versus Apple. About 6:30 Eastern Time, there was a decision by the jury. And basically they're saying that you can own a rectangle. By their decision, awarded Samsung about a little over $1 billion. I suspect that this will it probably has appeals on at least 5 different things that I can see that the judge did wrong. Shortly after the decision, the head of the jury had his own patent suits going on. So I'm pretty sure this thing's going to get rotated and over. They didn't spend a lot of time, and if you just read patent law, you know that basically what they were saying is that they can own anything that's a phone that's rectangular, and I don't know. I think it'll probably be reversed on appeal. But they found a favorable. Even say that. Favorable. Okay, why can't I say that today? Favorable. There we go. He said favorable jury, and went on to get a favorable judge. Why can't I say that today? Anyway, I think a lot of that's going to be overturned fairly quickly, and there's probably a good chance that if they'll get I think a second trial. Of course, it's not a 12-person trial, but a 9-person trial for patent law. But I suspect that there's at least 5, and now that the jury foreman spoke up and basically said that he's had problems enforcing his patent, they're probably going to be able to overturn this fairly quickly and go back on. Eventually, 10 years, 15 years from now, there'll be some money spent. But I don't think, I think the market's kind of overreacting to what's going on out here. There are some other stocks like Panel, P-A-N-L, we'll get to that in a minute, that is kind of having a little pin action on that Apple Samsung lawsuit. Tata Motors, the car company in India, is getting ready to sell a car about $10,000. This car runs on compressed air, doesn't go very far. But if you live probably in one of those monster cities, you don't have to go that far. Most of these things, I was surprised. The most important thing of having about having and building a car for use in India is replaceable panels, because they hit each other like a NASCAR Saturday night race. These guys can't go 5 feet without banging into each other over there. And apparently the only thing that people want to know is how much the panels cost and how quickly can they get them, and can they get them painted already so they can just hang them on and get their car fixed, and if they can afford a parking spot. That's basically what it amounts to. But this thing's going to be about $10,000. You hook it up to electric overnight. The thing's going to pump up your air. It's got enough for about 120 miles of city driving, which is probably, plenty if you live in India. But at $10,000, probably not a bad car, and one of the most eco-friendly. Not a whole lot of things to go bad. Batteries have to have a lot of noxious chemicals in them. This just has a bunch of air tanks and a small air motor in it. And I think top speed is somewhere around 40 or 45. So not much in the way of actually a car, but kind of interesting maybe the way things are going. Cristina Fernandez, who is the Argentine president, his popularity has sank to about 30% in August. We've seen a lot of upheaval in countries. It looks like things are getting tense down there. She's tried to rally her population by making the English and the Falkland Islands, you have to be careful how you say that, these Falkland Islands as a rallying point to try to get people back and happy with what she's doing, but hasn't done much, and looks like she's on her way out. But we get a lot of beef from Argentina. Always be interesting to see how that reacts if things go sideways, which they could in Argentina. Paul Tudor Jones. Some people may know who he is. He's kind of an under-the-radar kind of guy. He basically started a fund with about $50 million in the early 80s. He basically parlayed that into a huge hedge fund. He's worth about $3 billion today. There was a documentary made by PBS in 1986, and he really hated it and used $100,000 worth of pledge money to make sure it got taken off and never re-aired on PBS. So if you want to, here's the link. It's at vimo.com/42376843. It's gone up and down on a few sites over the years. Last time anybody saw it was 1999. The actual videotapes that you could get of it are so rare that they tend to be sold back and forth on eBay for about $300. But this was done shortly before he talked about the Dow tanking, and he was thinking that the market was going to tank in '88 when it actually tanked just a little bit earlier in '87. But if you want to see how the things were, people yelling to buy and sell like it's trading places all over the time, a good kind of chestnut of a guy and how he traded, probably warts and all. But not too bad. He was basically talking about the market really tanking, and shortly right after this, about 6 months after, is when or 9 months after, is when the Dow went from 2722 to 1738. That almost seems like nothing today, but a very interesting time capsule. Hurry on, because he's pretty big at quashing these exposés coming back out, but kind of very interesting to go back and watch the Wall Street era of trading and how it was done back then. The iPhone 5, we've got some more leaks. It is showing something that looks very much like an NFC chip. Unfortunately, there's no writing on it to be seen at all, but this is the latest leak just a few hours ago of a picture of it, and that little, I'll put my mouse over it here so you can see it, is most likely the NFC chip that's going to be in this. What's interesting is going to be who makes that NFC chip, since both Broadcom and Qualcomm make those integral into the chipsets that they make. Most likely we're going to be looking at some other smaller company that may have a big pop when that iPhone comes out, the 12th, so we'll be watching it very closely. But if this is the company I'm thinking about, watch for this to take off to the moon, kind of like the product Siri had on Nuance N-U-A-N on the last 4S. Anyway, we'll be back in just a few minutes. As always, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648.
Kate Stalter's exciting newsletter, Low Priced Leaders, has just launched, and now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial. Every Wednesday afternoon, Kate sends out her weekly newsletter to her subscribers, where she focuses on small cap stocks with market caps under $2 billion, as well as low-priced equities with share prices ranging from $5 to $12. Kate tracks a variety of stocks with a combination of strong technical support and solid fundamentals. Many of the stocks featured will be recent IPOs. These newer issues are often some of the biggest price gainers in the market and provide an excellent opportunity for substantial gains if timed correctly. You can catch Kate Stalter live on Tiger TV with her Small Cap Roundup every Tuesday and Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and visit TFNN.com right now to get your 2-week free trial to her brand new newsletter, Low Priced Leaders, while locking in the low introductory monthly rate of only $37.50 per month, almost a 50% discount. Act now.
With the launch of Tiger TV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, Kate Stalter, David White, Larry Pesavento, Victor Jones, or Carol Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free, for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
Millionaires are made every day. The fact is, living your dreams is possible. Someone, somewhere is going to get rich. My recommendation is, let that be you. Each day, someone is making the decision to better themselves and creating a plan to fulfill their financial dreams. Let that be you. The key to turning dreams into reality is to take massive action. Let that be you. I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of the Money Master Show with Tom O'Brien, seen daily at TFNN, and I can help you with your journey to great wealth. I'll show you how to create the ultimate financial edge, a set of tools, insights, and strategies that are part of my daily newsletter service, Mastering Probability. You'll have direct access to me by phone, email, and my private library of trading and investing secrets for 30 days with an unconditional money-back guarantee. I'll take your trading to the next level. Click on my name, Steve Rhodes, on the homepage of TFNN.com and turn your dreams into reality. Mastering Probability, folks. Let that be you.
This segment is brought to you by Goldfields. For more information, just click the Goldfields banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And just for a clarification, since someone asked in the den, NFC stands for Near Field Communication. It's how you pay for your coffee at Starbucks if you're just waving your phone at things. But everybody's been waiting for a central standard that everybody could rally around. Of course, too many phone companies, too many phone manufacturers. Apple is most likely going to set the standard for what is going to be used. And you can look at some of those near-field communication chip companies, but we'll have to track them. Probably going to find out, I would imagine, in the next few days. We'll have huge disassemblies of what's actually going to be in the iPhone 5, and we'll probably see a lot of action in those particular stocks, depending on what chips are actually being used in those. But it looks like there's at least a chip in there, and it's right where you would suspect the NFC chip should be. So it's going to be interesting. Bespokeinvest.com. I don't know much about them. They're, I think, kind of a hedge fund-like thing, but they do have some interesting charts from time to time. One of the ones that I caught here today was a chart of the S&P performance from March 2009 to present on above-average volume days. And if any day was above average, you can see that in the red line underneath it. But the thesis that heavy days down are selling days is really brought pretty much to fruition in this chart. It shows that while we have been moving up, when there are heavy volume days down, there is significant selling in the marketplace. Kind of an interesting chart out there. I suspect that we're getting awful close to a top. We'll have to watch it. We had several earnings today. Tiffany actually missed, but went up a little bit. Samsonite International and PVH Corporation. Tomorrow, I'm only one really out there. Sanderson Farms, SAFM. Wednesday is a big day. Joy Global, symbol is Joy. Brown Forman, BF, TiVo, TIVO. Pandora Media, which will be kind of interesting to see how they're doing. I suspect that they will fail. The IPO from, about 6-9 months, a year ago. Don't think that any of these companies have ever made it. Vera Bradley, VRA. Cassell Waste Systems, CWST. Fresh Market, TFM. And HJ Heinz, which is HNZ. All for Wednesday. On Thursday, Ciena, CINE, and Splunk, another recent IPO, SPLK. And that's pretty much what we have going on there. We've got just a couple of minutes. I wanted to get to panel fairly quick because there was some pin action in that. They make some of the technology that is used in the Samsung displays. They get royalties, and on the Samsung Apple patent litigation, PANL has gotten a little bit of action out here. Probably not as bad as it could have been, but they closed Friday at $42.73. Saw a low today at $39.03, but trading, probably pretty much in that 36, could probably be 36, 38 range today. I didn't get a current quote on them, but take a look at them. They're actually not too bad so far. Had a huge volume up day, and that was on the 9th of August. Been kind of going sideways since then, but looks like it's going to probably by the end of the day equal that huge volume day that came back up. I believe that was on earnings. So as we look at that, what's the other one? Cree. I don't know how much sympathy there is in Cree. None, actually. So probably most of that is from panel. They make and design LED or organic LED technology that's used in the displays. For the most part, they don't make much themselves. They license that technology, and why they're pretty much one of the few stocks out here moving today, if you can talk about them moving, if any stock moving today, on fairly light volume and not much happening. I actually can start hearing rain outside, so we'll probably get a few more rain clouds down here in the Tampa area, but it seems fairly mundane so far. Go back here to look and see what we have for volume. It was very light when I last checked it just before I headed over here. What do we have? 1.6 billion shares on the consolidated tape. Means probably 2.4 by the end of the day, maybe 2.3. Now there may be possibly lightest day this year. We'll be back in a minute.
Tom O'Brien's daily trading newsletter, Market Insights, has delivered powerful results for subscribers, and now is the perfect time to try it out for 2 weeks absolutely free. We're so confident in the value Tom provides his subscribers in his daily newsletter that through Labor Day weekend only, when you sign up for a 2-week free trial to Market Insights, we'll send you a free copy of Tom's best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, your ultimate trading mastery system, completely free of charge. Will even cover the shipping cost. Cancel at any time during your 2-week free trial to Market Insights and pay nothing, and keep Tom's free book as a gift from us. This offer is only valid for new subscribers. We've only extended this offer once before, and it will only be active for a short period of 2 weeks. So act now to take advantage of this great offer and be ready to capitalize on a more active, more volatile market once traders return from their August vacations. All the details are on the front page of TFNN.com. Sign up for your free trial to get your free copy of Tom's best-selling book today. If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Smith Barney. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportion of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney believes that a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what asset allocation and the Morgan Stanley Smith Barney financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Certified Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC. Member SIPC.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Crocodile Gold. For more information, just click the Crocodile Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And as we come back, the market pretty sleepy like it has been over the last few days. I wanted to look at a couple of companies, but since we were talking about near-field communication, the one that I'm watching most closely is NXPI here, and it's most likely, if that single chip out there is going to be in it, you probably want to be watching this stock. It probably has the potential to do something like Nuance did, NUAN, when Siri came out, but don't know for a fact that it does it. There are several Apple websites that track rumors almost pathologically. I wonder what these people actually do in real life. Maybe they don't have one, but they are destined to find out what's inside these things. They will, as soon as they get the first hands on one, we'll take the thing apart and find out every chip in it, and we'll know exactly what different companies are going to make in building the unit. But going to be interesting. But you've got kind of a nice little pullback to the last support level in NXP Semiconductors, and one to keep an eye on. Unfortunately, this is probably not one I'll be able to play in the newsletter, because it's probably going to be one of these things where it's going to, if they do pick them, it'll probably be up past the last high in a heartbeat at $26.26. And if it is not in there, it'll probably be down at $21.50 and an equally fast heartbeat. But if you catch these guys when everybody starts finding out, might be fairly interesting. I want to look at another stock, and that's Ingersoll Rand. We've been watching this one, trying to figure out if we're going to get some kind of decent signal in the marketplace from some of these bigger multinational kind of companies. And not a whole lot in this, other than we are going above the last previous high on much lighter volume. The May 9th high on this had 13 million shares at $45.62. We did go above that, and 3 million shares. Not a whole lot, up to $47.71. So what, a buck and a half above it. Just hanging out on no volume. You really don't like to see these highs busted and not volume within 3 days. So continue watching that. Lexington Realty Trust, another one. Let me see if I can get a little better one. Some of these realty trusts are starting to show some weakness. Some of them on a lot of volume, some none. LXP is this Lexington Realty Trust. Of course, probably too inexpensive to actually short, but it came up about 25% light on its last test of the March 21st high, $9.37. Got you had a penny over. Tried to get up there again today. Just very, very light volume, so we'll have to see how that plays out. But some of these are just going to be canaries in the coal mine and not actually great plays. Wanted to see how some of these other ones did. NiceHorse, when I was talking about this one, might be interesting as a play for the bottom. It might get down to the previous high volume low at April 12th at $23.59, 6.5 million shares that day into that low. Kind of messing around, but not a whole lot of volume if we look at the last previous two lows. Kind of looking at the June 21st low as support right now. That came down to $24.03 on 5.5 million shares. So you got close, but really would like to see this $23.59 April 12th low tested on much lighter volume as we are getting it. And, maybe a little pop back here. NiceHorse is a, what do they do here, if I can remember? Energy holding company. Through its subsidiary provides natural gas, electric, and other products and services, gas distribution operations, gas transmission, and storage operations. Which brings me back to watching NG. We talked a little bit about seasonal charts and seasonal weakness in this marketplace. So we're seeing natural gas do its fairly standard late August pullback, normally into the first week of September. At that point is probably a fairly good opportunity, at least seasonally, to start looking at a bottom in natural gas through the season where it's used for mostly heating. So we're going to start seeing that here in a few weeks. Normally you see a nice bounce out of the summertime season. Let me see, back out here. So what do we, normally you see this kind of June, July bounces. Actually started a little early this year. This is where contracts are actually being signed for energy production throughout the year. So you had a nice bounce out of it. We are doing a fairly decent reversal of that right now. Let me see if I can get just a little better view of this thing, which is right here. Let me get just a little bit down. There we go. And do an expansion here. What we have had is pretty much the 618 retracement in UNG. Of course, there's a little contango, so we don't see near as much of that. But probably pretty much where we would start to suspect to start seeing at least some support levels in natural gas. What do we have for the contract today? Take a look at it. NUG, what do we have down here? $2.65. It's off almost about 5 cents on the contract. I suspect we're probably going to get into the range right now on that previous place where it really took off, which is about 16 bucks on it. But the possibility of a decent ABC up if natural gas has started its breakout and pullback, probably not a bad time. We may be, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 days. There is a natural kind of hedge that a lot of energy manufacturers use, and that is that they're long crude and they're short natural gas. As crude continues to go up, normally there is a little bit of weakness in natural gas because of those hedged positions. I think probably that's what we're seeing today. I was kind of very surprised after a lot of the oil wells being shut down today that we couldn't see any additional strength in West Texas. It was actually off 64 cents today, $95.51 for the last tick that I show here from the Bloomberg. And, you know, with a flat market out here, not uncommon to see sideways movement, especially what you normally see is in a flat market is gold starting to rally. We've had that pretty much got up into that 1675 area on gold, and just not a whole lot of follow through today. Silver a little bit better, up about 36 cents. Either one of those, I just like a lot of things more than those until we get a better, clearer signal in that marketplace. What I wanted to look at also is some of the other stocks. Unfortunately, there's so few of them actually doing anything. We'll have to take a look at if I can get my earpiece to actually stay in here today, using a special standby earpiece that is not working that great. One of the ones that I liked out here was IYR. It has gone off, tested a previous high, did it on lighter volume, pulled back in to that high, popped back out. It's been going kind of sideways now for a while, and we'll continue to watch this thing. But I think this is a kind of a microcosm at the beginning. One of the things I've talked about is the asymmetrical triangle. We're really starting to see this on the real estate index funds. We're getting pretty much close to the apex on these. At the apex, just imagine putting pretty much from the gap up on 629, put a big kind of greater than symbol and take it out to the point. Once it gets about 3/4 through that triangle, normally the first breakout will be to the will be a head fake. So if we're thinking this market's going to go higher, I'm going to look at this pattern and some others as maybe breaking down and testing the gap around 63 first on lighter volume. If we see this thing break out and try to retest the $66.21 level again on lighter volume, that's a break, probably a false break to the top, and get one more chance to pull the trigger on some of these real estate funds that have kind of been hanging out and making some patterns that make me think there is some distribution, at least in the ETFs of these, and maybe the high water mark has been put in. And we looked at Lexington Trust again. That was another one that was fairly weak. SMHs, I wanted to look at those real quick. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648. That's 877-927-6648. And we will be glad to take it. And my there's something like happened that I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it looks like this headphone has decided there's no way it's going to stay in for the end of the show. But we'll continue taking a look at it. But give me a call. We still have plenty of time here. About 15 minutes to the top of the hour, we'll be taking a look at it. I wanted to go back one more time and take a look at our volume in these stocks. See if there's anything going on out here, if we're going to remain flat. I mean, we're up 2.5 points on the S&P. I suspect we could see something like this through Friday, although it could snap at any time. I'm thinking we're probably making some long-term high. And you look at that 1413, 1418, 1424 range on the S&P, and just the complete lack of any kind of volume. But of course, Friday, we're going to have the speech from Jackson Hole. Everybody's expecting helicopter Bernanke to load up those helicopters with dollars and let it rain once again on the plains of the Midwest. But it'll be kind of interesting. Again, you can give us a call, 877-927-6648. When we look at the SMHs, another one that looks like we might have had a little breakout, but there was no volume as it did go through the previous high of June 20th. That was on 1.1 million shares. We started going through the semiconductor with, well, 1.8 when you got to it, but 2.4, but 3, actually not too bad. So we are probably looking at some kind of support level back around $33. Maybe just a hair underneath it. There are two gaps. The volume really didn't come in that gap that well, so we'll be taking a look at that. But just very tough to see some of these stocks really doing a whole lot. The other one I wanted to look at was gold today, and we've got a lot of these, especially Randgold Resources, GOLD, trying to fill these gaps where they came down on significant volume. That happened back in, what was the date on that? March 22nd. A monstrous move down, heavy volume. We come back and pretty much fill these gaps. I'm almost thinking that this is probably a fairly bearish sign, at least in these miners, especially when you look at the long bearish trend line of volume from the back. That we've popped back up here at probably pretty much to the top of the temporary trading range, which is probably what, 1550 on gold up to 1675 in a narrowing trading range. We continue to see this have what, 3 dojis? 3 dojis in a row out here, and not a whole lot in the way of up volume on heavy on any kind of heavy sign of strength. What was the couple other ones I wanted to look at that I was thinking about over the last few days? I wanted to probably get to Apple. We have seen this thing kind of pop up. Again, you would have liked to seen something like 31 million shares. Any of these moves out here. You've got probably a high of 29,000, but that was actually on the down day of the 21st of August. 20 million shares, just 15 million shares on Friday. We are popping up so far on 12 million shares. Really looks like it's getting a little bit ahead of itself via the release of their new product starting on, I think the rollout day is the 12th of September. But can it go higher? Yes. A lot of shorts in the stock. It is not an expensive stock by any stretch of the imagination. When we got a lot of people talking about it as the biggest market cap of all time, and if you don't adjust for inflation, it is. If you adjust for inflation, it's Microsoft. But you have to remember that Microsoft, at its high, had a 75 PE to this one on forward looking at about 16 to 18. Depending on which way you want to look at the books. A much cheaper stock, so I'm not looking for the wheels to fall off the Apple cart wagon anytime soon. But could we see on weakness in the general market, this thing come back and at least hit this gap at 600, especially with this kind of ultra weakness at the top? Yeah, I think we could see kind of the equivalent of a Google time, several years where it goes sideways. Yeah, we'll be back in a minute.
Are Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Time is the great equalizer of all mankind. Time doesn't care about winners or losers, who succeeds or fails. Time only cares that you played the game. Question, are you playing the money game? Is your money working as hard for you as you are for it? I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, a daily trading and investment newsletter service, and we're celebrating our 1-year anniversary. In year 1, we generated a 30% profit. Plus, I provided 26 hours of live coaching to my clients. My daily newsletter service is available by 8 a.m. each day and covers the stock, futures, currency, and commodity markets, along with all the current patterns that you can trade. Each newsletter is packed with education, and it's yours for as little as $3 per day. And for the next 30 days, you can try it risk-free. Click on my name, Steve Rhodes, on the homepage of TFNN.com and begin your journey to great wealth today. If you're waiting for a better tomorrow, remember this. Today's tomorrow will soon be yesterday, and your clock is ticking. Mastering Probability. Now is your time.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And as we go on, we've got Nick from Oklahoma calling in. How you doing today, Nick? Oh, missed him. He was calling in about Marvel. Unfortunately, we were having a technical difficulty, so the engineer couldn't let me know that Nick was on. But thanks for the call, Nick. Marvel Technology, MRVL. It had a nice little pop down here. It is... or let me put it this way, it did come down on extremely heavy volume. One of the, probably need this thing to consolidate for a while. One of the things that you can see is in the last major low out here, one of the big traders and flashy guys of the last couple of years is David Einhorn from Green Light Capital. He's been, or was back down there in the $10 range, buying a lot of it from his S11 filings. It's back in that range. I don't know if he's deciding to sell it in here, but did think that there was a fairly good reason to buy back around this $10 level. I suspect it's going to take a while for this thing to consolidate. It did drop, 20% on earnings, and kind of gone sideways. I'd still say that we probably want to get through the first couple of weeks of September before I'd think that this consolidated, or even could consolidate enough to get off the bottom. So I'm going to look at this thing, but that 54 million share down day probably means that we need to get back in and test that low that hasn't been tested yet, and maybe see maybe even just a sign of strength, or at least maybe 5 or 10 more days of it going sideways out here, so we at least have some kind of hint that this thing is being accumulated at these levels. But not too bad. I mean, at least normally when you see these big funds like Greenlight or some of these other companies buy these, at least one thing you know is that they've probably gone through the books fairly extensively. Probably didn't buy it at that $10 low thinking that it had at least some kind of financial problems. So pretty good that those guys have done at least some of the work in vetting a company like this. This thing pops around a lot, but any of these companies that are making RF technology right now are having a lot of ups and downs because of the very few people to sell it to when there's a handful of people taking all the business. Kind of tough, but they make Bluetooth and FM mobile computing products, basically protocol stuff, Wi-Fi, communication protocols. But I suspect that it'll get more and more. This is becoming a narrower and narrower marketplace as we see companies like Apple actually take so much a percentage of the market. Right now, Apple's still buying 50% of all electronic components in the industry, which is amazingly large to find one company buying, at least on a dollar basis, the massive amounts of stuff that they are. Unfortunately, what that does is if you don't win the contract, you are exceptionally weak out in the marketplace. I suspect you might see a little bit more weakness in Marvel if, again, when they start tearing apart these iPhone 5s, there is no Marvel part of that technology in it. And I think, if I remember right from earnings, that was probably their outlook, that they are kind of hinting that they won't be in any future iPhone products in the foreseeable future. So we'll continue looking at them. But, when you look at SMH, some of those, probably not a bad time, probably at fairly decent support, at least when you're looking at some of these companies. Anyway, you all have a great and safe day. Thanks for the call, Nick. Sorry we couldn't get to you early enough. And we will be back tomorrow. Hopefully we get some action and movement in this market so we can start playing some stocks. Have a great and safe evening. Watch out for Isaac.